Hi CFB. Today's advisory is on college deadlines and the CFB Educational Foundation Scholarships. College deadlines. While many college deadlines were in the fall, there are many colleges here in Texas that can have spring deadlines that you can still apply to. Take a look at some that have upcoming deadlines throughout March and April. These additional ones also have late spring deadlines. So, for example, Texas Southern University has a deadline of April 30th, 2022, whereas West Texas A&M University has a deadline that is still in May. We do encourage you to continue and put your application in as early as possible and not wait until that last-minute deadline, because that can impact the funding that you receive, scholarships that you receive, as well as if you're planning on living out of the area, then also the options that are available for your housing. There's also something called rolling deadlines. Community colleges will have a rolling deadline. This means you can apply at any time before the semester begins, the following semester. You can also start at a local community college and then transfer to a university of your choice as long as you meet their admission requirements. Keep in mind, you will still need to put in an application to the college, submit your financial aid application, your transcript, and any other documents that they require. Some community colleges that are nearby to us include Dallas College, which includes Northlake, Brookhaven, Richland Hill, so any of those, they all fall under Dallas College, Tarrant County Community College, Collin College, as well as Northeast Texas Community College, for some examples. So, what do you need to apply? So, step one, make sure that you have gone into your Go Apply Texas account. If you have not done so, make sure you create your account. If you have already applied to some other colleges or universities through Go Apply Texas, you can copy your application over into some of those other colleges or universities. Also, be sure to submit your transcript and test scores to the college or university. Just check with your high school student services department on what their policy is. And then make sure you go back into your financial aid application and add the additional colleges or university and resubmit your FAFSA. If you did submit a TASFA by any chance, make sure that you're looking and seeing what is required by the specific colleges or universities and submit your TASFA application as soon as possible. You do not need to submit both a FAFSA and a TASFA. You would only need to be submitting one based on your status. All right, next up, let's talk about the CFB Educational Foundation Scholarships. So, did you know that our community has set up a foundation that gives you free money for your education? That's right. As a CFBISD student, you are eligible for scholarships that no one else has access to. This is separate from FAFSA money, and these are different opportunities that are available separate from your colleges or universities. So the way that you can find this is if you go to our CFB's website, so not the one for your high school, but for CFB, you're going to go over here where it is communities and volunteers, and under there you're going to find Education Foundation. When you go there, over here is where you're going to find the link for grants and scholarships. You need to click on that. From there, go to the top where it says Student Scholarships, and that is where you're going to find the information for the scholarships that you need. If you notice, they have them listed. Let's go over it first, but they have them listed either by high school, or we could just look at all the different ones that are available and then see whichever ones fit for us, and then we could start those applications. So what you could do is step one would be to look at the entire list that is available for all the scholarships that are available. So some you might be eligible for depending on the high school you go to, and others it may be available for any and all students. Some pro tips that we want to share is write down the scholarships you might be eligible for and read the description to see which ones you should be applying for. For example, this one right here for the Mary Ann McMahon Memorial Scholarship, it is for a Newman Smith High School student only for the Torchbearer Award. If that doesn't apply to you, then move on and find one that does apply to you. So what will happen is you're going to go and then you're going to click where it says fill out the scholarship application. Even though it says 2020, 2021, you're going to fill out the one for the 21-22 school year. So click on that. And what it'll do is it's going to take you over to this page and you need to create your account. So click on that green button where it says create your account. It's going to take you over to this page, which will help you finish your information. You'll have to put in your name, you'll put in your email address, that you're a scholarship applicant, I'm not a robot, and then you can create your account. Make sure we highly encourage you to use your personal Gmail account that you have, and just remember that your username is your personal email account that you are going to be using. So what you'll do is once you've created your account, you will see this screen available to you. And just keep in mind that while the scholarship did open up on December 6th, the closing on it is going to be on March 31st, 2022. So it is just around the corner. So please get started and get this completed. Hit that continue button to get started on your application. And what's going to happen is there are different questions that are being asked. If you notice, they have questions on general information. So general information about yourself. Tell us about your education, about your family, about your different activities, about your future plans, scholarship-specific questions, and then you'll be able to put in your references and put in your signature prior to you submitting your application, okay? So if you notice over here, they even talk about when it comes to scholarship-specific information, do not use your name when completing these questions, but fill out the other information that is being required of you. Some additional screenshots that you need to keep in mind while you're looking at this is, for example, do you wish to be considered for the Joy and Ralph Ellis Scholarship for Athletics? So it needs to be for a varsity athlete in the top 1/3 of their graduating class. That applies to you. Click on that. If not, you'd select no and continue on. But take a look at the different questions that they have, so that way you could see which ones would then be filtered out for you directly. Lastly, you need to also make sure that you add in your counselor, because your counselor will also have to submit information on your behalf, as well as those references that you want to submit a reference for you. Some additional questions that are asked on the application is what extracurriculars you're involved in, if you've been involved in any programs, if you're an athlete, if you are in one of the fine arts, and what city you live in. Sometimes there are some city-specific scholarships, so keep that in mind. And also what elementary and middle schools did you attend, because your former elementary and middle schools may also offer some scholarship opportunities. Don't forget, make sure that you send an email to the people that you are listing as a reference so that they know that you have submitted an application and you need their support. Be sure to thank them for assisting you in completing your application. Please make sure you notify your counselor, shoot them an email and let them know that you have started an application, and thank them as well for completing it and submitting information on your behalf. Please check your application before you submit it. Make sure that you have your email addresses listed correctly, the phone numbers are correct, and that you don't have any misspellings. Make sure you're putting your best foot forward in this. Don't forget, the deadline is March 31st. If you have any questions, feel free to visit your counselor or ask your CCMR dean. That's it for this round. Have a good one.